The energy you gave us was dirty.
What energy?
Bro, come on.
What energy?
Fix your face.
All right, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Hey y'all, it's Nate. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for Squid Game The Challenge Season 2, Episodes 5 through 6. So if you haven't seen them yet and you do not want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. You are about to hear my thoughts on Episodes 5 through 6, but of course I want to hear yours, so feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like and a hype before you go. Squid Game is over here bringing families together, and is also bringing the nonsense out of some other family. The twins sat there the entire game of marbles, running the clock down until the literal last second. I understand that they were saying, oh, this is our last 20 minutes together, we don't want to spend it competing against each other. I get it. But they ran that clock down to literally like the last 3 seconds, and if the clock runs out and y'all don't do it, y'all both lose.
Hand it to him before the time runs out. Go. Damn, that was a buzzer beater.
They did end up finishing the game just in the nick of time, and they basically came to the conclusion that the sister was going to stay because the sister had played and is still playing a better social game. So if you remember at the end of episode 4, they all decided that they did not want to play Mingle anymore. And because of that, they were forced into a game of marbles. For marbles, they get to decide to play marbles any kind of way they want to do it, so long as at the end, one of them loses, therefore being eliminated. For example, the dad and daughter duo decided to play tic-tac-toe with their marbles, which the dad lets her win, by the way.
I spent my whole life protecting her, and then to eliminate her from such an important part of this game, to end that for your daughter?
You're still honey.
I don't know if I can sleep at night.
Like I said, the brother and sister decided one of them was just going to hand over the marbles. Some people went, which I believe is the standard way, and that's throw your marbles into this pot, and whoever makes the most marbles wins. The only real rule in the game of marbles is that you only have 20 minutes. And if no one is the winner after 20 minutes, then you both are eliminated. The decision on which type of marble game to play was when all of the social strategy that you have been playing up until this point was going to come into play. Because if you had been paying attention to any of the contestants, you would know things like they play baseball and have played baseball for years. 024 and 098 end up in a game of marbles together. 098 suggests, hey, for our game of marbles, why don't we just throw the marbles towards this step that's right here, and whoever gets closest to the step wins that round. If 24 had been paying attention, he would have known that 98 is a baseball player. He said it over and over and over again when they were doing the game of catch. Baseball is a game of accuracy. Throwing the marbles close to the step is a game of accuracy. He was almost certain to win that. 24 didn't have his head in the game. He wasn't thinking. I would have never agreed to play that version of marbles with 98. 98, as I'll mention a little bit later in this video, always tried to rig the games into favoring the outcome that he wanted. So it's no surprise that he would choose that version of marbles, and it's no surprise that he won. Aside from that, 024 said that he wanted to spend some of his prize money if he won on Burger King, owning a Burger King franchise. I'm gonna be real, I haven't had Burger King in a decade, and I'm actually being very generous. It's been more than that. I just didn't know that Burger King was out here still getting that kind of support, so much so that he wants to own one. Shout out to Burger King. Because the numbers are so low now, we're learning a lot more about the remaining players. I, for one, learned that 015 doesn't know when to shut the hell up. 015 had the perfect game going with the whole I have a baby on the way and him not actually having a baby on the way. Why? Because it garnered him sympathy. In the game of marbles, he was playing against player 110, and he told her,
I don't have a kid on the way.
Oh my gosh, Eric. Are you kidding me? You're an idiot.
why would he do that? There is no way to say for sure if she would have done this, but 110 could have very much in that situation said, oh, this guy has a baby on the way, it's his first baby. I might just let him win this game. I might just let him continue on and I'll sacrifice myself because I know what it's like to have a first baby because she's a mom. He could have won because of that. Like I said, very low chance that that actually would have happened, but it could have helped him a lot. What he ended up doing by telling her that he lied about that is triggering something in her brain that went, well, I actually do have a family. differently. I actually am a parent, and I actually do need this money more than him. Because now you've gone from a parent who needs help to just some guy. And now she's thinking that she deserves it more, and she might be right. Any empathy that she had for you, right out the window. I really need future contestants of this show to understand that if you make up a lie on this show, you take that lie until the show airs. The first time that the other contestants should find out that you lied about that should be when they are sitting at home watching it on their couch. Not before that. I don't care how much you trust him. But instead, he told 110. And 110 started crying saying, there's just a level of humanity and I feel like you crossed that line. Respectfully, there is no level of humanity. This is Squid Game. This is 4.56 million doll hairs. There was a season of Survivor where a contestant on that show lied about his grandmother dying so that he could get more empathy from the other players. It worked. I think he made it to third place. Obviously, he didn't win the money, but he made it to third place. Who's to say that without that empathy, without those feels from the other players, that he would have, one, got a lot of the advantages that he got because of that, two, made it as far in the game as he made it because of that empathy that the other players had. And the thing is, after the show was over, his grandma wasn't even mad at him. She was like, whatever you got to do to get this money. She was not even mad. I actually just read recently that his grandma ended up actually passing away 22 years after he said that lie. Now, I'm not saying that's something that I would lie about because I very much believe in speaking things into existence, and I just don't play about death around people that I care about or really around anybody. I don't think I would ever go there, but all I'm saying is his granny lived another 22 years after that lie, and he was committed to it because no one knew until after the show, as they should. So when we talk about humanity in the game of strategy, when there's this much money on the line, This was also our first time seeing 361, and she's spitting.
I have lived my whole life in fight or flight mode. There's not a time that I can think of where I wasn't worrying about money, bills, abuse, something.
I too have lived most of my life in fight or flight mode. My cortisol levels are probably through the roof, so I feel for her. Now, after the game of marbles, we were left with 22 players, and the game master said, nah, that's really too many people. We need to get this down to 18 for this next game. So they tell the contestants, okay, y'all need to pick 3 hall monitors to serve as hall monitors over the dormitory. And of course, here goes 98 trying to throw his hat in the ring because he wanted that power. And I'm very happy that everyone saw that him having that amount of power was a no-go.
Want at least one female.
Kate automatically because she's the only
She's
female.
automatically in.
No, we can't do that. We can't avoid. That's not fair.
I truly never trusted 98, and this is why I say he always tried to make sure that the games will go in his favor. When they did the Russian doll challenge, he wanted to be the first one to get it. When they did the challenge with the marbles, he wanted to pick how the game was going to be played. In this situation with the hall monitors, only 4 people volunteered. They had to pick 3, so it really was kind of an easy thing. The game master said, take a vote or you choose or something along those lines. He wanted to make it a game of chance.
I want to just do rock, paper, scissors.
Why don't y'all 3 do rock, paper, scissors then?
Yeah, that's all.
No.
They said pick.
098, we all feel like you've been in the boiler room, am I right?
I don't care what you feel like I've been in the boiler.
And so he begrudgingly did not become a hall monitor. Now, I said that I've had a bad vibe from him from jump, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but in these 2 episodes, it finally came to light, because you know what I don't want to hear from someone who's a cop?
Sometimes I'm a very impatient guy, and I can get very short-tempered.
I don't want to be that girl, but if you're a cop and you're telling me that you can't control your temper, red flag. That would make me very, very uneasy. I hope that no one ever comes across this man when he's working and has had a bad day. And twice we saw him run to his bed and pretend to be asleep when things didn't go his way. He's throwing tantrums. This is a grown man we're talking about, by the way. So this whole hall monitor situation goes back and forth for a few rounds. But its entire purpose is to get more people out of the game because, again, they decided 22 people was too many. They played various versions of sacrificing themselves. The first 3 hall monitors had to pick 3 different people to go up for elimination, and they went head to head in a battle of basically sacrifice. If one of the players from either team put their number in a box, then they would sacrifice themselves, save 2 players on their team, and eliminate the other team. And it was basically whoever did it first was going to eliminate themselves but save their team, eliminate the other team. By mere seconds, the person on 98's team puts his number in the box too slowly, and 98 gets eliminated. I hate that his other team members got eliminated, but I'm so happy that he's gone. They then do another round of sacrifice where they have to pick another third hall monitor because remember they're down one. And this person gets the 10 coin, and we know the 10 coin allows them to use the vending machine and eliminate someone. And the person who got that token uses it to eliminate 410. Now people were already growing weary of 410. They were saying he's being too nice and is giving off strategy. Now, I think two things can be true at once. I do think that he was a genuinely nice guy, but I do think it was also just a tad bit a part of his strategy to be nice. But I don't think he was faking the fact that he is nice, if that makes sense. I think strategically it absolutely made sense to eliminate 410 because he was a strong competitor when it comes to social game. However, 409, who was the one who got the token and eliminated him, justified eliminating him by saying this.
He came up to me and he said, "Look, I just wanted to let you know, I'm done playing the social game. It is every man for themselves in here, and I do not care about anyone. I do not have anyone's back anymore."
And while I think that's similar to what he said, that's not exactly what he said. She made it sound like he was ready to backstab people when in fact he had actually said the complete opposite of that. He said,
"The days of me looking out are over. Not a backstab. I'm gonna give you a sword and I'm gonna stab you in the front. And you're gonna try to stab me too, because that's the only way this is gonna be fair. I can't keep saving."
That's a true statement. She just didn't like that he said the quiet part out loud. I didn't like how she explained it because she kind of made it sound like he was being an asshole about it when in reality he wasn't. Now, the final game that they play in these two episodes is a game of slides and ladders, which I guess is just shoots and ladders. This is actually one board game that I have never played, and I'm a bit of a board game enthusiast, and by a bit I mean I love board games. I collect them. But shoots and ladders is one I haven't played, so this was really interesting for me because I was like, oh, I get to see how this game is played. Very interesting to be a live piece in this game. It's your pretty standard roll a dice game. So you roll a die, you move the number of spaces that it lands on. Sometimes you land on a spot where there's a card. You pick the card, you read the card. The card applies to you or to all the players. Sometimes you land on a space that does nothing, and sometimes you land on a space that has a ladder which moves you up the board, or shoots, slides, which moves you either down back to the beginning, the start of the game, or eliminates you. Either way, you don't want to get a slide because the goal is obviously to make it to the top, but you definitely don't want to be eliminated. And I'm sure that 50-50 chance was daunting. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I didn't realize that the elimination would literally be them flying off into the void. I thought that it would just drop them off at a different spot. They are literally flying off of this game and screaming as they fly off. When 402 fell and he was screaming, I was like, they really got this man flying off into the void. So in this game, they are playing in pairs. And the reason that 402 ended up being the first person to get eliminated is because another team pulls a card and the card says, send a team to a space that has the chutes. One of them has to go this way down a slide, the other one has to choose the other slide because there are two slides on each space. And so basically, one person from that team was going to go regardless. 402 just happened to be the one who went down the wrong slide. But because of this elimination, or maybe more so because they set him up to possibly be eliminated, 183, who was the other person on that space, has a vendetta against this other team. And when I say vendetta, I mean vendetta. He was giving them death stares the entire time. And he said if he had the opportunity to get revenge on them, he would. I would be all for this had it been any other player but 183. Y'all know I love strategy, and why wouldn't I, if given the opportunity, go tit for tat with you when you set me up to be eliminated a few rounds back? Why wouldn't I also set you up to be eliminated? 183 lands on a space, pulls a card, and he gets to make a decision.
Send a team to any ladder or any unused slide.
So he had the choice to send someone up. He could have progressed someone, but he wanted that revenge. Had 183 been any other player, I would have been saying, why is everybody mad that he did that? Because everybody was like, oh, you should have used the ladder. But instead you took the opportunity to be petty. Any other player, I would have been on the player side. But I cannot find it in my heart of hearts to be on 183's side about anything. Because 183 is a guy named Steven. And I don't like a guy named Steven. Why, you might ask?
In 2023 in the summer, I finished second in the World Series of Poker main event, and I won $6.5 million.
Why is someone who's already a millionaire playing Squid Game? I think it's dirty, I think it's grimy, and I think it's gluttonous. I know I talk a lot about strategy and loving the game. He loves a game of strategy, he loves a competition. And his whole reasoning was, oh, well, because I didn't place number 1 in the poker competition, I still had that fire in me. So I still wanted to go play another game of competition. Why didn't you go play another round of poker? Because you didn't want to put more money up? Why are you playing Squid Game with people who you know need that money? You know this money will be life-changing for them. You already have millions. Why are you here? And more than that, why were you allowed to come on this show? This right here is where people have a hard time with the ultra wealthy. And look, I understand that 6.5 million is not that much money, but I also understand that it's more money than this game is worth. And I also understand that it is a life-changing amount of money. So whether or not he's $20 million rich or $6 million rich, it doesn't really make a difference to me, because you shouldn't be on this game with people who have, you don't know, they probably have what? $200 to their bank account, if that. This is their last ditch effort. Why are you here? I truly just think it's greedy. I would ask him how he sleeps at night, but I don't think people like this have trouble sleeping. So while I am very much enjoying this back and forth between 183 and the yellow team,
I hope one of them disappears. This is where you could have made a good deed and helped somebody in the end, but you decided to be petty.
I want 183 out of this game expeditiously. He doesn't need the money, and I don't think he deserves to win. I'm gonna be very upset if he wins this game. Not even joking. I haven't seen the next 2 episodes yet, so please don't spoil them. I'm gonna try to have the video for the next 2 episodes possibly out tomorrow, but please bear with me because this week has turned out to be a little busier than expected. So I might not have it till, what's today, Tuesday? I might not have it till Thursday, so bear with me, but I'm gonna try to have that out as soon as possible this week for sure. As of right now, everyone that I was rooting for and also not rooting for is gone. Sans 183, he's the last person that I want to see get out of this game before the finale, so fingers crossed you're gonna get eliminated in these next 2 episodes. Let me know your thoughts on everything below, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! This look a little crooked. Not a lot, just like literally slightly crooked. Like that much. I think that's better. Okay, we are ready to go. In 3, 2, components. Contestants. 409, who was the one who got the coin and deleted. I know I talk about... This is not a test.